Update. My mother, 44 female, wants to meet me 24 male after 8 years. I don't know what to do. Original post. So she was dating my father when he got her pregnant and left her after she told him she is pregnant. I don't remember much because my grandparents raised me, and she would visit once a week. She would take me to shopping, get me chocolates, etc. Grandparents died when I was 6, so my mom take me in. She was married and I never even knew, even had a baby, but I didn't think too much about it. Growing up, I was neglected. All her love and care was for my half-sisters. Her husband mistreated me emotionally and physically. He would yell at me for little mistakes, like if slip some water, wake up late. And my mother was a bystander and sometimes participate. She always tells me about how my father left her when she needed him most, how I almost ruined her life. This is all in front of her husband. And lastly, he would kiss her and tell me how he saved her. Well, I was just 12 at a time. I get hurt and jealous every day by seeing how they treat their daughters with love and affection. I never expected her husband to be my father, but she is my mother. How could she be so cruel to me, her own child? She always guilt-tripped me by saying she's the one who's feeding me and is giving me a shelter to live. I was a bright student in school and still am, but she never got happy for my progress. I thought if I study hard, she will love me, because I loved her very dearly. But I realized too late that no matter what I do, she will always show me where I stand. So when I was 16, I got in touch with one of my father's sisters through my mother's childhood friend. She knew how my mom treats me, and she wanted to help me, I guess. We hang out more and she finally asked me how I was living with my mom, and I just broke down and told her everything. She said she knew and that's why she wants to help me, and asked me if I want to live with her. I said yes. 1 month passed and I was ready to move in with her. When I got home, Mom was in the kitchen and I asked her to come upstairs when she's done. She came late, and conversation goes like this. Her, what do you want now? Me, can I ask you something, Mom? What? Do you love me? Of course. Then why don't you stop your husband when he mistreats me? Her, that's me. Let me finish, Mom. You hate me, don't you? That's why you let him mistreat me for years. You never showed me any affection, but you love your daughters. You attend their parents' meeting, but you never showed up at my school. You even sent me to another school. That's how you love me. Just why you never loved me, huh? Did I do something wrong? Tell me. Her, how could I hate you? You're my son. Me, then why hurt me so much? I can't show you how much it hurts whenever you choose your husband over me. It feels like my heart will stop beating. Every single time you chose to hurt me. But I loved you. And I tell myself that one day you will love me. But it was my fantasy which come to an end. Her, he cares for you. I interrupt. Me, look, you're choosing him again. Mom, I always choose to love you even though I always get hurt by you in return. But this time I choose to not get hurt anymore. I know you don't give a damn about me. That's why I'm moving in with my aunt. She knows her. And I expect you to at least respect my decision and let me go live my life. She was just standing. Didn't say a word after I tell her I'm moving with my aunt. Next day, I move out when my mother and her husband was at work. I didn't say bye to my half-sisters. We moved to another state and I cut off my mom and her entire family. That was 8 years ago, and I never heard anything from them in this 8 years. I still live with my aunt, her husband, and her daughter. They are nice and kind people. Also, now I have a job, but I'm on the way to becoming a software engineer, so I can say I'm doing good. But yesterday, I get voicemail from my mother saying she wants to meet me and to please talk to me and was crying. I haven't responded yet. Should I call her or should I just block her? I can't decide, so any advice is appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Her personality hasn't magically changed. Life isn't like the movies. Perhaps her husband has left her and she needs money for herself and the girls. I suspect money's involved somehow. Regardless, she hasn't changed. She was a weak, cruel woman all your life. She's still a weak, cruel woman now. I agree. She probably heard that Opie will be going into a career with good money-making potential. Opie has made a life for himself and seems happy. He should not let his mother, and I use that term loosely, disturb his peace. This here. She wants to use you. She doesn't love you like you loved her. Maybe find out what she wants, but don't be surprised if it's something to do with her needing you in some way. Personally, I'd steer clear of her. Live your life. I know she doesn't love me and it still hurts. And I won't be surprised if she needs money from me. I know how selfish she is. Money or organ. Either way, she wants something. There's no way I would give her my organ. I don't care if she dies without one. Do what you want. If you don't want to talk, just don't answer. If you do, you can send her a message. Hell, you can also tell her to buzz off and not contact you. Part of me wants to meet her, to tell her about my achievements. You know, you can't completely hate your mom. And another reason is, I never got my answer. Why she let her husband mistreat me? Why she never stood up for me? I want answers. You think she would tell me this time if I meet her? Edit. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Here's some more. I haven't told my aunt about my mom's voicemail. We'll do tonight after dinner. And my dad died when I was maybe 3. And yes, he tried to meet me, but she never let him. She used me to get money from my dad and his parents, and my dad left me some money. Now for the first update. So much happened in the last 4 days, so I thought I should write an update. So here's what happened. I talked to my aunt and uncle the day after the post, told them about her voicemail. They were so understanding about my emotional situation, and I told them their opinion is very important to me. I asked my aunt about mom's friend, so she called her and invited her to dinner last night. She told us that mom's husband and his sons kicked her out because she argued with her oldest daughter-in-law. Her husband filed for divorce and she will not get anything from him because he had her sign prenup. Her daughters refused to help her and is still living with her father. She's now all alone and is living in her parents' house. Her friend said she knows I'm engaged and perhaps wants to meet me because she is sorry for how she treated me. After listening to all this, I asked my aunt what she thinks, and she said she doesn't trust her, and she's trash, but will understand if I want to meet her. My uncle said I should meet her without looking for any kind of relationship. So after giving it some thoughts, I decided to meet her. I messaged her telling I'm ready to meet her, but my aunt is gonna be there and she must come alone. She said okay. I messaged her today that we will meet on Sunday in a restaurant. She said she will book a table. As many views suggested, this restaurant is always crowded. So that's what happened in the last couple of days. I will write an update if anything happens. Thank you again. Good luck and do not be fooled. She just wants to reconcile and apologize to you and she's alone and they have abandoned her. I do not believe much in karma, but this is a clear example. She should have apologized much earlier and not now. Don't fall for that. I hope you update. Correct. Do not be fooled by the waterworks. She has been emotionally unavailable since you were a child. It doesn't mean anything now. All the best. As a third-party observer, my first impression based on her friend's depiction of what's going on is that she's looking for someone to support her now that she's out on her own. Don't be surprised if she hits you up for money or a place to stay or something. Opie, the concern I would have is that your mother is once again cast adrift from having someone to support her financially and emotionally, and she's looking for her next convenient spot to anchor. Trash is a word I would never use to describe a fellow human being, but I assume your aunt meant that your mother has proven in the past to be an unengaged parent and a self-centered grifter. The lines between nature and nurture are so blurred at this point that she may not mean to use people as badly as she does, but she still habitually uses people whenever it suits her purposes, even the people she loves. Your uncle was right to warn you against hoping that you will finally get the close mother-son relationship you've always craved, because that's very unlikely to happen. Either now, on the eve of your wedding, or in the foreseeable future. Your mother is who she is, and you had the misfortune to come up a double loser in the parent lottery. I'm sorry for all the trauma and isolation you experienced in childhood and adolescence before you decided to move in with your aunt and her family. I wish you good luck for your restaurant meeting with Mommy Dearest, but I hope you plan to don some heavy emotional armor. Even with your aunt there for moral support, you're likely to experience some powerful feelings, both positive and negative. Just keep reminding yourself that you do have relatives and a fiancé who love you unconditionally, regardless of how your mother feels or what she wants from you at this time. Now for the second update. Yesterday when we got to the restaurant, she was with her other friend. And when she saw my aunt with me, she freaked out and started to cry loudly, saying that my aunt stole me from her and that she's the reason I didn't acknowledge her, and also that she used a black magic to control me. The list goes on. Everyone at the restaurant was looking at us, like we are criminals. Some of them even started to record videos. It was so embarrassing. I realized I'll never get the closure from her, so we left in the car. My aunt was crying, saying she failed again to protect me. She knew it would end up like this That's why she didn't want me to meet her at all, but she did for my sake. I told her I will not meet or talk to her ever again. I blocked her number and everything, and this morning I get a new number. So yes, that's what happened. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys when you told me not to meet her. Nothing to be sorry about. Your aunt is an amazing person and really cares about you. I wish you the best in life. Didn't you get to tell her that it was her fault that you left and that she never tried to talk to you? You would think in 8 years she would wised up. Sorry. Give your aunt a hug, tell her you love her and it's not her fault. It was your decision. Thanks for the update. Too bad you didn't say, thank goodness she saved me from you. Give your aunt an extra hug. Enjoy your life. Now for the last story. My husband, 43 male, treats my daughter from a previous relationship, 12 female, differently to our own daughters, 10 female and 8 female, and it hurts her. When I was 27, I got pregnant quite early into a relationship with a not-so-great guy, and he left a couple months after I gave birth. I'll call my daughter Ellie. He rarely sees her except bringing a gift every year or something. He's a useless dad and always has been. I met my now husband Lee when Ellie was 2 years old. I never minded that I had a kid, and he was great with her. When I got pregnant early in the relationship, he was thrilled and wanted to be dad. We now have 2 beautiful daughters together, Olivia and Rose. Although Lee has always been a good father figure to Ellie, he has always treated her differently to our daughters Olivia and Rose. Despite being there since she was a toddler, he does not consider Ellie his, and corrects people when they refer to him as her dad. He says that Ellie has her own dad as well. And yes, she does, but he is hardly around, and he has been around much more than her. It hurts Ellie when he says she isn't his. She has my last name, while my other daughters have his. I hate to say this, but I think one thing that factors into it is their different appearance and race/culture. My daughter is white British like me, and he is Asian. Our daughters look like him, but Ellie's obviously not his. He involves Olivia and Rose with his family, and because of this, they are now quite proficient in his native language. Lee's family hate the fact that he is raising another man's child, and they don't like Ellie coming over. Even if he invites her, Ellie now refuses to see his family and knows they don't like her. To be honest, they don't like me much either, but they absolutely adore Olivia and Rose. Another factor is that our daughters are also exceptionally beautiful and are regularly complimented by complete strangers. We have been approached by modeling agencies after posting their photos on Instagram. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this, and she does not look like a model. She's still beautiful inside and out to me, but I know this is a very big insecurity of hers and she feels inadequate compared to them. Lee's Facebook cover photo is a family photo without Ellie, and he frequently posts pictures of our 2 daughters but rarely includes her. He buys them more gifts than he buys Ellie. He frequently compliments Olivia and Rose but rarely Ellie. He was better about it when she was younger, but now the different treatment is even more obvious. Probably due to all this, since Ellie was about 9, she has bullied Olivia and Rose sometimes. She's a great girl and she is usually kind, but she frequently picks on them and has fought with them and hit them. Olivia, the 10-year-old, has also started being nasty back to Ellie and calls her fat and ugly. She includes Rose in this too. They do this thing where they stuff pillows up their jumpers and pretend to be Ellie. I do my best to stop these behaviors from both sides, but it's hard, especially because Lee takes the side of Olivia and Rose no matter what happens. It makes Ellie out to be the instigator. Lee and Ellie's relationship is now kind of strained, especially now that Ellie's starting to go through puberty and the mood swings are coming. She has told me that sometimes she wants to run away from home. My heart breaks for this whole situation, and I feel like it's too late now to fix the relationship. My husband claims he loves and cares for her, and it's true that he does buy things for her and acts as a father figure, but it's just so different to how he treats our own daughters. I'm so overwhelmed with this and I don't know how to fix it. Please help. Now for the top advice. You and Ellie each need therapy ASAP. Did you and Lee not discuss him taking the role of father in Ellie's life before you got married? It must feel awful to feel like the only outsider in her own home. This also could be his cultural conditioning. That is massively pressed into them like no others. This scenario most especially. It's deeply generational, rooted into the man that is a disgrace to themselves and their family's legacy to take on another man's child, and feels the shadow shaming that's probably coming from his people, potentially having a child that doesn't look like you. The Eastern cultures are trying to keep Western society from infiltrating their cultures. They don't like what the negative aspects that are blaring out to the rest of the world, so any snippets of Western society frowned upon. That's a massive struggle, I would imagine, for someone. I've just seen this as what is going on with people from different cultures. Well, if it is so unbelievably disgraceful, then he shouldn't have accepted Ellie as a 2-year-old, or dated her mother, or married her mother, or impregnated her mother. This is not an excuse. There were many opportunities for him to not raise another man's child. God, this post just kept going. Why are you allowing any of this? Why did you put your foot down a long time ago? Why are you even here, asking for advice, when you know your husband's behavior is damaging, discriminatory, and hurting your child? This whole thing makes me feel sick. You're all Ellie has. Please stand up for her. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this. Is she actually overweight, or is she just not thin? Because your best efforts to stop this are probably just as damaging as her sister's making fun of her. She is overweight, but not massively. It could sort itself out naturally in her teens, but maybe not. I never say anything hurtful about her weight. I give her healthy food, but she uses her pocket money to buy extra snacks and sneaks things from the cupboards. Have you considered that she's using food as an emotional bandage for basically being discriminated against by her father figure and failed so epically by her mother? You are supposed to be her protector, and instead, you basically put up with her being mistreated and singled out as lesser. You should have put your foot down or left your husband when he started to treat your daughter as different. You failed so massively.
My husband's childhood best friend asked me for a favor, then humiliated me in front of her family. I'm done being the bigger person. Original post. I've been sitting on this for a few days, trying to decide if I'm just being dramatic or if I've been letting too much slide for too long. So I, 30 female, have been happily married for a few years now. My husband, 31 male, is honestly a gem. Kind, patient, hilarious, loyal. Basically everything you'd want. Which, after having an ex cheat on me with his best friend, is kind of a big deal. That relationship wrecked me for a while, but I worked hard not to drag the wreckage into something new. And thankfully, my husband's never given me a single reason to question him. Until now, maybe, I do not know. My husband and I have a great relationship, and we're pretty social and often hang out with each other's friends. I get along with almost all of his group, and they've honestly made me feel welcome, except for her. His childhood best friend. Let's call her Kathy. Kathy has always been cold to me. Not outright rude, just subtle enough to make me feel crazy for noticing. You know, that kind of vibe. Every time we've been in the same room, she's managed to talk around me, not to me. I tried, I really did. I've smiled, made conversation, been nothing but warm, even when she's given me nothing to work with. She doesn't show up to group hangouts, but she'll invite him over. And he always tells me, to his credit. He never goes without mentioning it, and he's never weird or secretive about her. But it still rubs me the wrong way. I've tried being friendly, I've tried small talk, heck, I invited her to our birthdays, barbecues, engagement dinner. She bailed on all. She skipped our wedding too, and she only ever seems to reach out to him, usually when she's just been dumped and needs to talk. When I've brought it up, my husband says I'm overthinking it, that Kathy is just a little odd socially. Maybe she is. Then a few weeks ago, out of nowhere, she messaged me. She asked if I'd model for her project, totally unexpected, and I was caught off guard enough to say yes. Part of me thought maybe this is her trying to connect. Maybe this was her olive branch? I even felt a little hopeful. God, I was naive. So I agreed. My husband offered to come with me since he hadn't seen her in a while and thought it'd be fun to catch up after. When we got there, her family was also involved. And from the second I walked in, it was like stepping into some passive-aggressive Twilight Zone. Her mom and sister kept calling my husband our son-in-law. I laughed awkwardly, thinking I must have misheard. It only got worse. During the shoot came more of the snarky comments, jokes about the one that got away and some bonds never fade. Her mom at one point literally said, "We always thought Kathy would end up with him, but life has its detours, I guess, and Kathy always imagined walking down the aisle with him. And then, it's sweet of her to fill in though." I wish I was exaggerating. And Kathy just kept snapping pictures, smiling, saying nothing. No, hey, cut it out. No awkward laugh. No redirect. Nothing. My husband, clearly uncomfortable. I watched him fidget through the whole thing, clear his throat a few times. He tried to change the subject or came near me during the shooting. He didn't say much either, just went kind of quiet. I stuck it out for an hour, let her take her photos, smiled, posed, whatever. But the whole time, I felt like I was part of a social experiment, and everyone else was in on the joke but me. When we got in the car, he was silent for a while, then finally said, "Sorry about all that." That was weird, right? And honestly, I didn't even know what to say. Because yeah, it was weird. It was borderline disrespectful. And the fact that he was there, saw all of it, clearly felt it too, and still didn't step in or pull the plug, it makes me feel kind of alone in this. I'm just tired. Tired of pretending this woman is harmless or just awkward. She knows exactly what she's doing. I don't want to start a huge fight, but I'm at the point where I don't want her in our lives. Not as a friend, not as a ghost in the corner of our marriage. No more bending over backwards to be the cool wife. I'm not interested in earning points with someone who clearly doesn't want me around. Anyway, thanks for letting me scream into the void for a minute. I really needed to get this out. Edit. Sorry guys, English is not my first or even second language. Sometimes it's harder to get my points or feelings across. Just to clarify a few things people were asking about. Kathy is actually a photography major, and this shoot was part of her final project. I'm not a professional model or anything, but I've done some hobby modeling here and there, so when she asked if I'd help out, I thought it was a casual favor. Why at her house? She comes from a wealthy family and has a fully set-up photo studio in their house, which is why the shoot happened there instead of at a regular studio. I honestly thought it'd just be her and the camera, not a full audience with drinks and commentary. Additional background, I grew up in a pretty emotionally abusive household, so I think I've gotten too used to passive-aggressive comments and just sort of freeze up. Maybe that's why I didn't react more in the moment. But yeah, it definitely hit harder after the fact. I will update you as soon as possible. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Borderline disrespectful? I'd hate to see what you think is actually disrespectful. Yeah, there is no borderline about it. This was a rude and disrespectful as heck. I'm sorry she did this to you. And I'll be honest, I'm a bit disappointed your husband didn't say something to stop them. They were purposefully hurtful to you. When they were all saying they always thought Kathy would end up with him, he should have said, "No, I got what I wanted, and I am more than happy with my choice." You should be telling your husband it's not weird. It's par for the course. This is just the next step in the very apparent pattern of behavior from Kathy. That's he's allowed to let happen, over and over. Every time he left, whether to spend time with her out of the home or over the phone to spend time with her, she tallied that as a victory. Now it's a matter of pushing the line. How much will he allow at your expense? How easy will he forgive with a short, insincere apology if he finally says something? She's playing a long game and trying to plant ideas, and it's even better when someone else can plant the ideas too. Enter her family. This is not new. This is not weird. This is her normal behavior toward you. Maybe his rose-colored glasses are slipping. This was just the next step in her war on your marriage. Exactly. A best friend who skips their best friend's wedding? Give me a break. Now for the update. For those wondering, no, they never dated. He had a high school crush on her over a decade ago. That's ancient history. No, I don't think he's ever cheated, emotionally or physically. He's always very open and honest. We have each other's passwords. They barely see each other anymore in person, maybe once every few months. We live about 2 hours away. Okay, so, funny enough, I didn't even get the chance to sit down and talk to my husband before something else happened. I just can't believe my life at the moment. Anyway, I was still trying to process what happened and sort through my anger towards Kathy, and honestly, toward my husband too. That's when I got a message from my sister-in-law. We'll call her Mary. I'm really close with Mary. She's also part of the wider social circle that Kathy floats around in. They're friendly, but not close. She sent me a screen recording from Kathy's close friend's story with a simple WTF. It was a clip of me posing during the shoot, no music. But in the background, you can clearly hear Kathy's sister say, Kathy should have been the one to marry him. I lost it. I waited until my husband got home from work, sat him down, and showed him the video. He watched it once, then again. His whole face changed. He finally looked angry. I could not help but think, why didn't he have the same reaction there? So I laid it all out. I told him everything, every snide comment, every time Kathy made me feel small, how I'd always tried to be civil, how I never asked him to choose between us, but I was done being polite while someone consistently disrespected me. I told him, if this doesn't bother you enough to act, we've got a bigger problem. I'm not going to be in a marriage where I have to beg to be defended. I need a partner who stands up for me. And if that's not you, then I need to rethink this. He didn't argue, didn't get defensive, and I know he feels sorry. Then I showed him the Reddit post. He tried to read every comment. Some of them made him tear up. When he finished, he looked at me and said that he feels like the worst husband. He let this happen right in front of him. He is so sorry, and he asked me, what do you need from me now? I told him straight up, this isn't just about her anymore. It's about whether or not you're willing to protect this marriage. But I'm not going to feel like I'm second place in my own relationship. So it's either me or her. So we called Kathy. She picked up all cheerful, acting like nothing had happened. We brought up the video. She immediately got defensive. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. Are you really mad over that? Seriously? And that's when he stepped in. This isn't just about the video. It's the constant disrespect toward my wife. I didn't say anything before because I didn't want to lose your friendship, and I convinced myself you didn't mean it. But what happened at that shoot? That was disgusting. My wife came to support you, and you and your family treated her like a joke. I didn't speak up then, and I'm ashamed of that, but that ends now. I don't even know why I held on to this friendship for so long. If you can't respect my wife, you don't respect me. She laughed, literally laughed. Wow, you're really cutting me off over that girl? Oh my God, I was ready to fight. But my husband calmed me down and said to Kathy, if choosing between you and my wife ever felt like a hard decision, I wouldn't deserve her. We're not kids anymore. You need to grow up. I simply do not want to be your friend anymore. I have nothing else to say. Telling you, he can be a gem sometimes. But yeah, we blocked her and her entire family. Since then, he's been checking in with me. Not trying to fix things, just showing up, listening, understanding. He finally sees what I've been dealing with. We've still got some healing to do, but now I know where he stands, and that changes everything for me. To everyone who commented last time, thank you, seriously. You helped me feel like I wasn't crazy, and maybe even more importantly, you helped him finally see it too. Second story. I, 33 female, was not invited to my boyfriend's 31 male family wedding, and now I want to skip their summer reunion. My boyfriend and I have been together for just over 3 years. We live together and are in a committed relationship. Over time, I've made a genuine effort to connect with his family. I've joined them for holidays, birthdays, and other gatherings. I've always tried to be kind, respectful, and supportive. His aunt, 46 female, who's considered the last single aunt in the family, announced that she is getting married in June this year. It has been a big deal for everyone, and the family is very excited. I assumed I would be attending the wedding with my boyfriend. I've met his aunt several times, and we've always gotten along. There has never been any tension or awkwardness. When I asked my boyfriend about the plans, he told me that he had been invited but was not allowed to bring a +1. I felt disappointed, but I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. I figured maybe the wedding was small or the guest list was limited. Then I found out that his younger brother, 26 male, who has only been dating his girlfriend, 20 female, for about 6 months, was allowed to bring her to the wedding. That really hurt. I don't blame her at all, but it made me feel like I am not seen as part of the family even after 3 years. I talked to my boyfriend about how I felt. I explained that it made me feel excluded and undervalued. He listened and was supportive. He told me he understood why I was hurt and that my feelings were valid. At the same time, he feels that I shouldn't let this one event affect how I view his family as a whole. He thinks I should continue attending family gatherings and that skipping them might make things more awkward or strained later on. That's where I'm struggling. There's a family reunion coming up this summer in September. It is a big camping trip they do every year, and everyone attends. Normally, I would go, but right now I don't feel comfortable. I want to sit this one out. I feel like I need time to process and protect my emotional space instead of forcing myself into a situation. I love my boyfriend, and I'm not trying to create a rift or make him choose sides. I just need some space to think about what this all means for me and how I fit into his world moving forward. Has anyone dealt with something similar? How do you find the balance between protecting your feelings and staying connected with your partner's family? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Can't he just call his aunt and ask her why? That's what I would be doing if I was him. Yeah, and it's kind of weird that the boyfriend isn't more proactively questioning it, especially with his younger bro being able to bring his much newer girlfriend, and he's not questioning or pushing back on it at all? I would definitely be asking why I'm the only one who can't bring my significant other if I were in his position. Like immediately upon being told I couldn't bring them, I'd be asking why not. Maybe he did ask, cause in my opinion, this all seems like he already knows and accepts why she's not invited. I think it's because the answer is that the boyfriend didn't want her to go, while the younger brother did. Or boyfriend knows why OP wasn't invited, and he either agrees with it, or he doesn't want OP to know why because he knows it will make things worse, or both. Now for the update. Wow, I didn't expect this to get so much attention overnight. Thank you all for the kind comments and support. I truly appreciate it. I also wanted to clear up a few things and share an update. Some of the comments speculating that my boyfriend was being shady actually made me laugh. The wedding invitation was sent out in March through the Knot website. I went through the whole site, including the couple's story and the Q&A section. To RSVP, you have to type in your full name, and it will indicate whether you're invited solo or with a +1. When my boyfriend entered his name, only his name came up, no +1. Out of curiosity, we typed in his younger brother's name, and it did include his girlfriend's name. In the Q&A section, it said the guest list was limited, and only those listed by name were invited. At first, my boyfriend was upset and wanted to reach out to his aunt directly. I told him not to, since I didn't want to add any extra stress to her while she's planning her wedding. I helped my best friend plan hers last year, so I know how overwhelming it can be. Instead, he called his dad to talk about it. He stepped out for the conversation, so I'm not exactly sure what was said. After I posted about it last night, I brought it up again with my boyfriend. He was hesitant at first, but eventually opened up. I had a gut feeling about his younger brother, and it turns out I wasn't wrong. The couple decided not to invite unwed partners, but they made an exception for his younger brother. From what I've seen and heard over the years, he's definitely the family favorite. He was a NICU baby, and the family has treated him with extra care. He usually gets what he wants and rarely faces consequences. As we talked more, my boyfriend admitted he does feel some resentment toward his younger brother. He said it's always felt like his brother receives special treatment, and this is just another example. He's come to accept it because it's been that way since his brother was born. There are clearly deeper emotions at play for him, and I want to support him through that. I also found out that a cousin's 34 male long-term girlfriend, 29 female of 8 years, wasn't invited either. That made me feel a little less alone. She's actually more upset about it than I am. I reached out to her, and we're planning a spa and nail day on the wedding day. Honestly, it helps to know I'm not the only one feeling left out. My boyfriend and the cousin are still planning to attend the wedding to support their aunt, which I completely understand. It's an important day for her. It still stings that I wasn't included, but I've accepted that I can't control how others choose to handle their guest lists or family dynamics. I'm choosing to focus on my peace instead. I'm still undecided about attending the family reunion camping trip, but if the cousin's girlfriend goes, I'll be more open to it. P.S. The petty part of me wants to not invite this couple to our future wedding when my boyfriend and I get married, and also not give the younger brother a +1. It made me laugh just thinking about it. I might get over it by then, but I thought it was a funny little thought worth sharing.